because 7-on-7's passing camp, so that means Drake Maye and his wide receivers are in the spotlight opposite Christian Gonzalez and this defense that everybody thinks is going to be really good. And as you heard Dan Ball say in his trending, so the good news is Drake Maye threw 8 passes and they were all completed. The bad news is 4 of them were completed to the wrong team, the defense. The good news is, Fitzy, I'm just going to keep riding a roller coaster. Good news, bad news. The good news is Christian Gonzalez had a couple interceptions, and we all think Christian Gonzalez could be maybe the best cornerback in football, right?
Yes.
Bad news is, why is Drake Maye throwing 4 interceptions in his first 8 passes in shorts and T-shirts in June? May? We're not even in June yet. In May.
It's the ultimate rope-a-dope. You see, he looks like garbage now. That way he throws all the opposing defensive coordinators off his scent for later. Like, oh, that kid's washed. They should have kept Milton in the first place.
Oh, we got those texts.
When Milton was coming.
Oh,
Where's Milton's name? There it is.
Literally the start of the show. In the crossover, there was a text that came in. We should have never traded Joe Milton.
Yep. I get it.
Why? Because you want to see him throw the interception? Because he could throw the interception too.
I mean, Gonzalez will legitimately or could potentially have a chip on his shoulder this season, guys, given that he was not named. There was a whole hubbub online the other day about him not being named to the PFF 25 under 25 list. So,
Wait, there was a hubbub? Please tell me he wasn't involved. Because if he was involved, I will think less of him as a player. If he is all hot and bothered that he didn't make some PFW under 25.
We do know one thing that he had an issue with this offseason. You guys remember what that was? He chirped on socials.
No, what was it?
Oh, not making all pro, right, Ted?
Nope.
What was it?
Head coach Gerard Mayo being done dirty. That was he chirped about that. He did
really?
Not. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did we talk about this?
He thought Gerard. No, not the show was.
We didn't exist
we
yet.
We did not exist then.
Oh,
so but
pre-us.
he was he chirped about the decision to let go of Gerard Mayo. He thought that was that he was done dirty. That he wasn't fair to Gerard Mayo. So that was the only thing I know of that he was. He's talking about chips on shoulders. That's the only thing I can reference. But I will say this: that doesn't make me feel good. Look, I mean, 4 interceptions and 8 pass attempts. That's hard to do, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
impressive. I don't want to make excuses for the kid because I said your development from year 1 to year 2 is always a player's biggest. I will say that my feeling is he's going from learning, English to Chinese right now with Josh McDaniels now as the offensive coordinator. So my feeling is there's a little bit of the brain is getting in the way. If I had to guess, knowing Josh McDaniels' system and how hard it can be. So that might be one of the reasons why you saw such a poor performance today.
It's meaningless in reality. It's absolutely meaningless. We're not, unless the wheels fall off, we're not going to be referencing this day in November. But it's not meaningless in the sense that, and you've talked about this, Ted, you're not sure everybody's all in supporting and believing Drake Maye, despite some of the polls we've run and despite some of the things people say. And I would also just say he turned the ball over too much last year. So the very first time anyone's kind of monitoring what he's doing in 2025 to lead off with a bunch of turnovers isn't ideal for the narrative, the talking points. If you want to be snarky tonight, if you wanted to go on Early Edition on NBC Sports Boston and be snarky about the quarterback, he gave you ammunition to be snarky in May. That's the only thing it really did. We're not going to be looking at this with any real insight in a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months.
I'd love to see the throws because there's a little bit of a gunslinger to his game.
Absolutely,
right. And so I'm curious what the throws look like. Where were they? Was it 1, 2, 3 plant and throw? Was it running around? Trying to get open, and then you kind of you throw it sidearm.
Right.
What was the variety of the interception? My guess is I'm wondering how much is Josh McDaniels going to kind of cut some of the gunslinger out of him?
Oh yeah,
because I think I don't know if you want to do too much of that. Patrick Mahomes, maybe you got to crawl before you can walk, and so Josh McDaniels wants him to make the easy throws first, and then the sidearm stuff, the throwing across your body. The stuff that is brilliant that no one really seems to really appreciate yet because it didn't equate to wins, it will be accepted in Josh McDaniels' eyes.
Fitzy, if there's any one thing that would be maybe alarming, one of them was described as a miscommunication with Pop Douglas. And on day 1, I'm guessing they're not at, page 400 of the playbook. So the fact that your guy that we all think maybe you could throw a lot of passes to, Pop Douglas?
I'm not as high on him as the rest of you.
Okay. But he could be in a role. Everybody looks back at Josh McDaniels, slot receiver.
Right.
That guy gets a lot of targets.
Correct.
On day one, with a limited sampling of what they're doing, for those guys to already not be on the same page, I would say is less than ideal.
But I would say this about that position, that the slot receiver to me is it's much more nuanced than the X receiver out wide. Because it's almost as if Fitzy, it's almost as if the slot receiver and the quarterback have a route predetermined before the snap. And then post-snap, the defense does something different. They shift from one coverage to another. And then now the route that was supposed to be run changes based on what the defense shows. And so both guys got to see it exactly the same. So I will say this. I think that is a more nuanced position to kind of be on the same page with the quarterback. And so I'm willing to give them a pass for today. If we're still talking about this in training camp, a month into training camp, then that's worrisome. But I will say this, that position with the quarterback is going to be the hardest to get on, quote, the same page with.
Yeah, but now, not to play Captain Obvious's side of the street, but now is when you want Drake Maye throwing 4 picks, guys, right?
Oh, sure. I don't want it in a game.
Now it's working out. Look, of course. Brady threw 4 picks in Denver, but way back in year 2, I want to say. Or year 2.
In year 1 after he had gone 7 games without a pick.
I think it happened a couple times, actually. We heard how much Vrabel said, I want him to watch the turnovers. We know how much Josh McDaniels abhors turnovers as well. So work your kinks out now. Go ahead and throw the picks. Everyone knows the kid's a stud. Everyone knows in due time this offense is going to be humming. It's just there's a lot of new people to get to know down there.
Another thing too, I don't mind. I'm curious. Was Christian talking smack? Was there back and forth?
I hope so.
Was the compete level, because we used to have a strong defense, and when Brady came in, and it was, if Brady threw an interception and it was back and forth, how did Drake Maye handle? I'd like to see his body kind of read his body language after the throws. Were there John going on? Was the compete level? Did it raise the kind of the intensity of the whole practice? That would be a good thing if it did.
You want to respond to the 617? I completely agree with you. There is nothing more meaningless than practice statistics, particularly OTA statistics. Mm-hmm. My God.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also, it's all we have right now. They practiced, and I wasn't a big believer back when I was covering practices in the numbers. I wouldn't have said, oh, my God, Drake Maye was 11 of 6. I would have said, he threw 4 picks today. One of them was really, it was just the observation. You don't see a lot of that or whatever. Put it in perspective. No, I agree. Just looking at a stat line on paper from OTAs is dumb. But it's all we have right now, and he is a guy that the biggest challenge he faces, and you said it, Ted, combination of what he did last year, what's expected of him this year, and then his coach, who Fitzy used to famously always say of Tom Brady, what does he do well? Well, he doesn't take sacks and he doesn't turn the ball over. That was what Josh McDaniels would say first about not the accuracy, the decisions in terms of making plays. It was the decisions of not making mistakes, not giving yards away, not giving the ball away. And I'm guessing, despite Josh McDaniels visiting all these other pro teams and colleges and tweaking his system and streamlining, I don't think he's changed that. I don't think he's suddenly coming back and you know what I want in a quarterback? Mistakes. Take chances, baby. Be a gunslinger. If it's 50-50, throw the damn ball. I don't think Josh is going to change that much. He's still looking for a quarterback who's not going to make mistakes, not make turnovers. And Drake Maye threw 4 interceptions today. It is what it is.
He did. It looked like there was a variety of different types of interceptions. One, over the middle to the tight end. One misread between him and Demario Douglas. A deep ball where it was intercepted by Del Pellis. Look, the deep ball to me, if that is his best pass.
Yes.
If you were to say what is his absolute best pass, it's the ball up the right side.
I was going to say deep ball down the right side in particular.
Yep.
He can do both, but the right side is his best.
I would do 3 shots a game down the right side to whoever. If it's Kyle Williams, if it's Stephon Diggs, that to me it is. The drop in the bucket you do, Andy. Of course, the quarterbacks, they just 50 yards, 40 yards. They go back. They try and lob the ball up with a nice kind of arc to where it drops right in the bucket. And Drake Maye, to me, that's one of his best throws, Fitzy, is that ball up the sideline. So he had a variety of different types of interceptions, but again, it's the first day, nothing to get too worked up about.
I'm almost kind of grateful because it gave us something to talk about and a depth to travel to so that we can look forward to him improving as well, and hearing from Vrabel that he's being more efficient with the ball, to Josh McDaniels saying he's learning the system and he's protecting the ball better as well, since this was one of the top priorities. Obviously, he was the main attraction to both head coach and coordinator coming to Foxborough in the first place to resume and or take over these jobs. So I'm fine with it as well. Plus, I mean, he played half a season last year, and there was so much turmoil. It's kind of like a glorified reboot of a rookie season for him in a lot of ways. He just got a lot of a very extended preseason, shall we call, last year, leading into this, Andy.
Absolutely. And you know me, Fitzy, I am hesitant to trust the eyeballs of others, always. I one of the things I hate
is your own,
like, I don't get to see what happened today. We weren't down there because there were interceptions in games last year where I thought receivers screwed Drake Maye. Like, didn't fight for the ball, didn't come back for the ball, didn't do certain things.
Or Booty literally handing a ball to him.
Right. So, like, I would love to see the deep ball to Kyle Williams. I don't want to pick on him, but he's a rookie receiver who's on the field for the second time with Drake Maye. Do I think there's at least a chance Kyle Williams was a part of the reason that ball got intercepted? Yes, I absolutely think there's a chance. So we're kind of doing this blind. We're going by the eyes of the reporters that are down there, the stats that are down there. But I will say also,
I do like the stats, though. Not going to lie.
Well, it gives you something to talk about. You need something. You need a morsel of meat on that bone that is OTAs in the offseason. But Drake Maye is the first storyline, right? Of OTAs, passing camp,
first,
summer,
second, third, and fourth. Yes.
And because you're not going to get you were saying during the break, Ted, Will Campbell was at left tackle. No crap. Where did you expect him to be? He was drafted 4th overall for a team that doesn't own a left tackle.
That's right.
Like, the only way Will Campbell was news today is if he lined up anywhere other than left tackle. Will Campbell's at center. Did anybody see that on their bingo card? No, like, he's the left tackle. We know he can suck, and guess where he's going to line up all year? Left tackle. They took him with the 4th pick. But that's Drake Maye is a storyline. You know, Rhamondre Stevenson, I guess, not being there due to the loss of his father is something that Mike Vrabel talked about. I thought that was actually very interesting how upbeat and positive Mike Vrabel was about Rhamondre Stevenson. I like Rhamondre Stevenson. I've always been a big fan.
He's a good kid. He's a really, really nice guy.
He's also a good running back. And, you know, Mike brought up kind of him getting worn down, and you saw him last year get worn down, which the fumbles are an issue. We know the fumbles are an issue, but the opening day, 120 of 124 yards were after contact. Like, he did get worn down. He had a crappy offensive line. He tried to do
wore him down the first 2 years, though.
He did, and that's where I wonder. I don't know what he has left, but he's based on today. It goes fast. Running back in the NFL, it goes fast.
Remember, Andy, it was 120 out of 124 yards in the Game 1 win against Cincinnati was post-contact.
And you know, the comments today from Mike Vrabel told me he's at least getting a shot. Like, the tone of his comments today, he's not giving up on Stevenson. He's not looking at him as a guy that, he was part of they signed him. He's not my problem. He's giving Rhamondre Stevenson a legit shot to be the lead back, or at least, I think be the lead back, the tone I took today.
Because I think he does have special qualities.
He does.
I love, it's that jump cut that he has, to me, is an elite jump cut.
Yep.
To avoid contact. I think he's one of the more physical runners. I think he's got the ability to separate from would-be tacklers in the open field, a la like a Curtis Martin, although, he's maybe not as dynamic, but there is a dynamic piece to Rhamondre Stevenson, and I do love his game when he's not spitting a seed.
Are you worried about Drake Maye, the interceptions, the start to OTAs? You shouldn't be, but I don't want to tell you your opinion. You can tell me, 617-779-7937.